You are going to meet somebody extraordinarily fascinating and I believe very, very brave. There is a situation in Tucson, Arizona that has a community divided. And I told you this story a couple of weeks ago when a school board meeting got out of hand before it even got underway. The state's education officials are currently reviewing the Tucson Unified School District's Mexican American Studies curriculum to determine whether this is even legal. Trust me, what little I have read, it is not legal. If it is, we're in an upside-down world. The state has an absurd law that doesn't allow schools to, quote, promote the overthrow of the United States government or promote resentment towards a race or class of people. Can you imagine? In America, we have the nerve to discourage treason in our classrooms. So, the school board said it would consider making the class an elective, which to me is nuts, rather than making it a core requirement. Your tax dollars in Arizona are going to pay for this. So how did the students react to the extreme injustice of having to opt into this wonderful class? Watch. Here they are. Here they are chaining themselves to the school board members' desks and refusing to leave. See that kid right there? That kid is frightening. So last week there was another meeting, a second attempt to discuss the issue, and this one was no better than that one. 7 people were arrested in this one. Here it is. And board members had to be escorted out of the room, and a riot team had to come in and restore order. Now I want to introduce you to somebody, and I want to introduce you to somebody who is brave, I think, to even come on the show after everything that is said about me, to come on my program. She's a liberal Democrat that believes in social justice. I don't. But she said she was surprised at what she found out about this curriculum. Loretta Honeycutt is the co-founder of a group called TU4SD, which was asked by the school board to review this curriculum. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. We disagree on stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. You don't need to say it like that. All right, so we disagree on things. And you are a liberal Democrat.
I am.
You're not some shill for the GOP or anything else.
No.
And you got in, and what have you found?
We were asked to, I had offered support for ethnic studies originally and had sent a letter of support for the program to the school, to a school board member who was a friend of mine.
Okay.
And I said, please defend this program. He wrote me back and he said, it's not what you think it is. Will you please help us look into some of the charges and claims made by various people? So we offered our expertise. We do have some expertise in school reform, and my particular expertise is in equal access issues. So we came in with a devotion to public education.
Your mother helped start one of the first teachers' unions, right?
Yes, she did.
So you and I couldn't be on farther ends of the spectrum.
Correct.
Correct. Got
but
it.
One thing we have learned over this time, our group is growing, and it's both Democrats and Republicans who have...
Because this is not political. This is against America, and really against, it's pitting people against people, is it not?
And I think it's being used as a distraction. You know, pay attention to your parties, not to what's really happening. So we're looking at all of these false arguments, and we're not looking at the...
Listen, America, would you just listen to what she just said? Say it again. Listen to what she just said. The news of the day is...
well, that we're being distracted by politics and not by principles and real issues and our core values.
Come here. Come here. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Exactly right. Okay. So, I saw this picture. Do we have the picture of Ward Churchill involved in this? We have a, there he is. I don't know if you can spot him there. He's over there. He is. There's Ward Churchill. This is the guy that said everybody in 9/11 was the Leichmans. This is not some little Democrat. This is extreme anti-Americanism being taught.
Absolutely.
Give me a clue on just a couple of things that are being taught in this.
I think the key component is a resentment towards our country. And, you know, public education was founded on the principle that we're developing great citizens who look to improve our country, certainly not overthrow it. And we're seeing that in the curriculum
Who's behind this?
It's a group of radical ideologues who are absolutely committed to creating little foot soldiers. And this is their...
Do you know who specific? How did this program, did it start this way? Did it evolve? Do you know?
It evolved over
evolved.
time. And I think it originally started as a jobs program for a bunch of ideologues coming out of the university that couldn't otherwise be employed.
This is actually the University of Arizona is involved in this, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
But these are people that the University of Arizona, they are still employed by the University of Arizona?
No, they're employed now by the district. So they're educated at the University of Arizona, and then they take jobs over at the district. And it's a little job factory. It's almost become a cottage industry. And it's all based on this critical race theory. And it's...
What is critical race?
Critical race theory is the theory that everything that happens to you, every experience you have, every thought you have, all the views that you form are solely based on your race. Everything that happens to you is only a function of your race.
Now, gee, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't think I need to say any more, but you as a liberal Democrat have seen race played out, but I'm guessing, seeing that you're white, and you're now coming out and saying this is bad, I'm guessing now that you are only thinking of race now to many.
What's unfortunate about this whole situation is it has absolutely nothing to do with race. If you were to look at the 4 different departments at this school district, all of the other ethnic studies programs, Pan-Asian, African American, Native American, those programs are perfectly in compliance with the laws. They elevate children. They celebrate the accomplishments of their ancestors. They recognize our foremothers and forefathers of color's wonderful contributions. This is distinct in its emphasis.
Okay. When we come back in just a second, Lori's going to explain to you this isn't just happening in Arizona. And this is why I've said for a while that we Americans have got to wake up. They've got to wake up. It has happened in dribs and drabs and slowly, and you have no concept of how bad things have gotten. And I think this is Tucson is the tip of the iceberg. Remember, it is also now in Tucson that we learned this last weekend that they're being described as liberal Democrats. I'm sure you're not one that wants to secede from the state. It was supposed to be those crazy Tea Partiers that wanted to do that. But somebody in this same area, it seems to me, Tucson is being ripped apart from the inside. Where will it end? Well, I guess that's up to all of us on how we react to it. But I want to show you a little bit more on what's in this curriculum, what you should look for in your school districts, and how you can get involved. Coming up. I have to tell you, we could spend some time talking more about this this Tucson curriculum. I invite you instead to go to my website at glennbeck.com and look at all. We have all of the curriculum there. You won't, your eyes will melt. Instead, I want to spend a little more time with an amazing woman who, America, this is the kind of person I have been looking for a long time. Loretta Honeycutt is the co-founder of TU4SD, nonprofit nonpartisan group of concerned citizens in Tucson. She is a liberal Democrat that believes in social justice. Her mother started the teachers union in Arizona. Hello, we don't agree on much. But we were just talking in the break. And please, this situation in Tucson is so ugly, and it is communist, anti-American, and it's going right to our children, and it's ripping Tucson apart, right?
Correct.
How do you get, if I say these things, people will not, they'll not report it, nobody will report it, nobody will care, because all the Democrats will say, oh, it's Glenn Beck. Here you are, somebody who strongly disagrees with me. How do you get people to listen to you? How do you get people How do you get Democrats to say, whoa, 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 it's been hijacked, it's way out of control?
I think we have to set an example for each other and decide that our principles are far more important than our politics. And at our core, I think we're very similar. We have the shared value. We all have the same American values of, appreciation for diversity and acceptance and a hope that we can always be better and work harder and get where we want to be, the more equitable society. So as long as we can say, you know what, I can't care what the pressures of my party are, I can't care that I will no longer be invited to their events or popular, you have to put that aside, because at some point we have to just admit that we're on the precipice, essentially. And if we don't put all of that aside and recognize what's really, really important, we're going to lose what we really value. And
Did you know that you would be called a racist and that you would become under attack like you are?
We did know that. We knew that we were walking into a very tricky situation. We had to have the confidence in ourselves that we had pure hearts and goals, and that we were keenly aware of the civil rights issues involved that could come up. We knew that we were going to be called horrible names, but at some point you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you can endure the epithets and the charges, and you know what's at your core, and you have to put kids above everything.
Okay, I want to thank you. You are what the 9/12 Project was about: values and principles over everything else. I want to show you how you can get involved next. I think we love each other. Loretta Honeycutt is TU4SD. That's part of a nonpartisan group made up of concerned citizens in Tucson. She is a liberal Democrat that believes in social justice, and we're talking about a curriculum that is, would you say it's treasonous or teaching treason?
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's awful, and it's tearing Tucson in half. And it's not just in Tucson.
No, it's making its way across the country. And
so what do people look for? If I'm a parent at home and I think, well, that's just in Tucson, what do I do?
I think that you look for change the curriculum that reflects, that talks about, they couch it in such lovely terms, social justice and transformation. So there are certain buzzwords that people should be aware of, and it doesn't mean what we think it means. It doesn't mean what we want it to mean. And what we want it to mean is an equitable country that recognizes that we do have social and political forces that are unfair.
We've made mistakes, and we all want to be better. We all want to be better.
And we continue to make mistakes, but they're not. We can cure those mistakes. We can change our ways.
That doesn't mean that, like in this one, it teaches that Thanksgiving should be a day of atonement because we're a murderous group of people.
Exactly. Okay. So, and everything that's good is twisted to bad.
So, how do people connect with you?
They can come to our website, tu4sd.com. We would love to see people get involved in their schools around the country. People have kind of walked away from the public schools. We need them to get re-engaged again and start looking at their curriculums and do the schools reflect their community's values?
Okay, America. A liberal Democrat that believes in social justice. A brave, brave woman. Let me tell you something. Courage and compassion. Those two things will fix us. Courage and compassion. Please get involved. Don't dismiss this. Our country is under attack from the inside. Back in a minute. If you have kids, college-age kids, any kids really, you have to watch this program on Friday. You'll be shocked to find out what their professors are saying to them. From New York, good night, America.